everybody, this is Wendy Ann, and thanks for tuning in to another knitting tutorial video. Why some patterns of mine say switch to double pointed needles if and when necessary. I like to use circular needles when I knit, especially things like hats, with a very flexible cord. And this is why. As you can see, I've already started reducing stitches for the crown shaping, and I have the cord and the needle sticking out right in the middle of my round. If I pull this, you'll see I've been working the hat like this, and now I've reduced stitches enough that I could switch to double pointed needles at this point. However, I like to manipulate this flexible cord that's here on the circular needle so that I don't need to switch to double pointed needles. I can continue my entire hat using the same 16-inch circular needle that I started with. I believe these are Addi Turbo. I know that the manufacturer Addi makes several different types of needles. I have had these for a number of years, and honestly, I'm not positive which particular type it is. The reason I selected these needles is I like the metal. I find that I tend to knit with a bit of a tighter tension, so having slippery needles does not affect my knitting practice too much. I also like the fact that the cord is very flexible. So that's why I selected these particular needles. The third point that I look for in my needles is right here, this join being smooth so that as you go around, it does not catch on your yarn. I just like to have those 3 points made when I decide what type of needles I'm going to purchase. So those are some recommendations, and here is how you continue your decreases at the top and you're working in the round. I just follow my established pattern. In this case, it's knit 1, purl 2. You can see earlier on in this pattern that it was knit 2, purl 2, and I've reduced the knit 2s to simply knit 1. This is a forthcoming pattern, by the way. That the yarn was provided by Blind Buck Farm. It's a beautiful 30% camel, 70% Targhee wool yarn. There's more about that in my video on how to knit a double thick hat brim, like you can see here. This is the inside, the outside, and I've joined the two. So I'll put a link on how to do that. So at any rate, I continue my established pattern, and as I'm doing the work going around this hat, when the I was waiting for it to start. As I'm working, because of the flexibility on the needle, as I'm doing these stitches, the live stitches, when I start pulling them over and working them, getting them on this needle, the right hand needle, the left hand needle just pops out in the middle of the round, and you just continue on working these last. I've got 5 stitches here, so I will continue to work these out. 1, 2 purl, a knit, 2 purl, and now I've got all this extra needle going. You just turn your work, reposition your hands, and now you can put this needle back in to these live stitches, and if necessary on this side, you just push the needle out, pull the extra cord, and you're able to work in the round. So this is just a little tip, something that came up because I was in the middle of knitting, didn't want to switch to double pointed, and my needle was flexible, with cord flexible enough to just start popping out on the sides. I'm like, hey, I can continue to manipulate these stitches and manipulate the cord so that even as you do more and more decreases, more and more of the cord just comes out on each round. And I hope that tip helps. Please give a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe. I have more videos like this planned. Also some tips on knitting wellness, meaning that as you knit or crochet, you can really relax your mind and de-stress and find a way to focus on optimism and healthy living, mind, body, spirit even. So I'll have some more knitting tutorials and crochet tutorials and tips about that. One little tip I could give you for now is have a pattern that you work with or a project that you work with that is completely for relaxation, a real simple basic pattern. If you check out my blog, you will see 7 tips for beginning reflective knit or crochet, and I tell a little bit more about that. So I'll put the link down below in the description section. As again, I appreciate so much you watching the video. Have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe for more.